I can just simply listen to that nice little water breeze from the waterfall, and that way I should able to get myself soaked and wet. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Mario here, and I'm back for some more of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my Let's Play of Super Mario Odyssey for the Nintendo Switch. So last time we actually did manage to introduce into Cappy as our new companion into our team. In addition to that though, we also managed to discover this little familiar airship, but even then though, it's been rusty at the moment, and also we've managed to able to actually just to collect our first Power Moon in this game. So yeah, today for this episode folks, is the fact that we're going to be moving on and to able to continue on with the Cascade Kingdom to able to get even more Power Moons, including Multi-Moon. So even then though, that, well, we'll get to that eventually. So, yeah, today was actually forms of the 31st of January. So in this case, this might actually be the last ever day on January this year. So even then though, time's going really quick though, doesn't it? So even then though, that we'll get to actually get into more details about the info stuff until we get to the latest game's progression, including the likes of this game and especially NES remakes afterwards for me. Well, not until then at least. But anyway, as you can see, we got ourselves our heart item, which allows you to able to actually reveal your health meter. So as you can tell, my health meter is still 6 at the moment because of the life up heart I've obviously obtained from ever since Cap Kingdom. But even though that's as far as majorly concerned, yeah, that's what I can tell. And also, if you press the minus button right there, you can actually just look up on your map. In addition to that, you can also press the Y button to double check on your checklist of any of those Power Moons you've collected. Like for instance, there's actually a Power Moon right over there, and that objective is actually based off from Jump Through the Rocks. So even then though, that was part of their mission objectives. Well, you can't technically need to find those Power Moons to be like this, especially noticeable that if you don't have enough Power Moons to your disposal to move on to the next area, then I highly suggest you're able to continue searching for them just in case you weren't able to actually find them until you're able to proceed to the actual game. So that makes it pretty obvious of how this game is usually falls around, like, you know, destructible sandbox game as you expected it to. So anyway, yeah, it appears to be one of those region coins in this game. It appears to be in this particular location. It kind of reminds me like donuts, but not donuts because it's basically just part of the actual graving stones from the prehistoric times during that time. Because normally caveman usually just comes in for these places like this, expecting for early man as a film itself. But even then though, yeah. Goodness, look at that size of that thing. Well, truth be told there, Cappy, that thing is sure is huge. Even then, oh my god, I can able to actually capture the T-Rex apparently. So yes, you can able to actually capture most of the enemies throughout in this game, as you expected, as you saw from the last video of this particular Let's Play. Not only do you able to capture enemies, but also you can capture several others here and there too. Like for instance, I can actually capture the dinosaur, or in this case the T-Rex if I like to recall that, which first I thought was going to be something related to a Monster Hunter trailer back during the likes of E3 2017. But I'm just like, oh, there's no Super Mario Odyssey trailer, that's a bit of a shame. But then, as soon as I realized about something back in E3 2017, I spotted there's actually a Mario camp right there. And then basically, that's how Super Mario Odyssey's true surprising trailer comes up. Which even then though, I was like, oh my god, yes, more Super Mario Odyssey stuff. And I was like, oh my god, I'm actually really excited for it. So anyway though, yeah, there's not much else we can do throughout, besides there are some occasional Power Moons we can able to get at the moment. But for now, let's just go ahead and continue exploring for this particular area right there to get ourselves our region coins first things first. Right now we're up to like, you know, 34 at the moment, but we will eventually get even more of them until we get to the latest parts of this game. So, and it looks like we bust out this little wall over there, which actually opens up an 8-bit sprite wall, which by doing so is by the fact that we need to capture their chain jump right there, and able to actually just use the analog control to able to pull up the chain jump and then pull it back to releasing it. So you have to basically just let go of your analog stick, and that's what you really try to do. here we go, inside this little 3D 8-bit pipe model, and it appears to be we're actually on the actual the wall, or in this case a 2D section of this particular game and onwards, which even then, these sections does remind me of almost related to The Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS, because in the Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds is that usually Link can manage to actually use the Ratho's bracelet, which actually allows him to able to emerge the walls, which even then, it does remind me of this particular system, which even then, yeah. And of course, as you can tell, I've got a next power moon, which is essentially the third one I've got, and the objective on that one is to go behind the waterfall. It's not that hard to find though, unless if you actually first time you've ever played this game before, then you should probably good luck trying to finding it though. So anyways, we've got a checkpoint to the Fossil Falls Heights, and now we have to deal with more chain jump braking destruction going on here, and that way I was able to do it just as fine. And oh, sorry about that, folks. I'm feeling quite tired, actually. But it's probably because I just could not sleep well last night. So even then, no, that's why I really do apologize for that part. So, and yeah, I apologize for the lack of uploads for this point, folks. But anyways. What's this? You say you need to repair some silly old airship? Why, I could never part with any of my precious power moons. Well, in this case, multi-moons even. It sounds to me like someone wants to be a snack for my adorable chain chompkins. So you look a bit more, well, kind of creepy looking than this is, but even then, here's the next boss in this game. All we have to do is basically we need to able to get rid of her chain chompkin's hat off from his well, for her golden chain chomp apparently. Now all we have to do is that, much like if you saw from the likes of these chain chomps like I did from earlier ago, we have to basically just capture these chain chomps, and then as soon as she able to get tires out, then basically we're going to able to deal the damage on her. So very simple, easy fights. Even then though, I don't have any issues with that actually. So even then though, that as you expect this of the beginning part of the game actually, so even then though, until the latest bosses in this game, they're expecting to get a little bit more challenging and aggressive, if you should say. So there we go. Oh, that must have been really painful right there, especially if she'll get herself her first aid actually. Well, almost anyway. And here we got ourselves the first ever multi-moon throughout the game, so let's go ahead and grab it. And of course, if you ever played through Super Mario Galaxy 1 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, the Grand Stars obtaining system is that obviously you're going to be seeing things like this, where you grant something very, very big. So, there we go. That concludes, you know, the multi-moon, rather, mission. And that pretty much does it from here. But I'm not going to leave this area just yet, because there's going to be still more to it. You've done it, and now we've got the multi-moon. So in, yeah. It's as strong as 3 power moons combined. It should get the ship moving in no time. Let's see if we can actually just make this work. Throw me onto that globe. But of course I will do that eventually, Cappy, but honestly I think I've got some more things to do with here. So even then though that, yeah, the game tells you to actually get able to actually press the Y button to throw Cappy, or especially noticeable that you can able to use the Joy-Cons, and taking a notice from Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2, that you can actually shake one of those Joy-Cons to also shake Cappy, which even then, you can able to do that, or in this case throw Cappy even, on top of the rubble. Which, every now and then, that after you complete those specific objectives, more power moons will be precised, which even then, that I've got ourselves the next power moon right there, and the next power moon is the forms of the specific timer challenges. Now the first one is very simple, because we need to able to jump onto platform syndrome basically, and I almost get screwed over right there, Cascade Kingdom Timer Challenge 1. And yeah, every time you collect those power moons, depends on which day you actually play this game, it tells you what day you've actually obtaining it. So, Treasure of the Waterfall Basin. So even though that has been uploaded during the likes of today, the 31st of January, but the ones I did show you right about now is the actual recording footage, as you can tell right there. So yeah, I must admit though that it wasn't exactly the right amount of day or time or whatever, but at least it's something usually happens though in most cases scenarios. So oh yeah, if you manage to grab the already collected power moons right there, you actually get yourselves these coins, which even then, coins are super insufficient with this particular game. So even then though, okay, let's go ahead and just pull that chain jump out of it. And just break those walls over there, and we can actually enter a pipe. Although I did normally done the shortcut like I did from earlier ago, but now I've just done it normally, which above a high cliff, which appears to be a next power moon we've actually got. You can also talk to this NPC right there, which informs of this little talkie parrot. But all it does is basically just gives you hints, which even then, I'm okay with, because even then though, that I'm pretty much expert at this game after all, but even then, there's gonna be plenty of times whenever I'm able to actually just, you know, come across into those situations like that. So yeah, let's go ignore him for now. Anyway, so we got about 7 region coins left, which is not quite a lot left, but hey, there's something worth it though, I suppose, and mainly during the later parts of the game. So anyway, let's go ahead and avoid those little porcupines right there. Normally I just call them porcupines for some reason though. And then there's actually this new little door right there, which we saw from earlier ago from the Cap Kingdom, but actually takes me into a different location. Which by the looks of it though, we actually ended up in those little secret areas. Sometimes areas like this can often sometimes able to actually just to give you just 1 power moon. However, other times is that you're going to be able to come across into not 1, but 2 power moons in this particular locations like this. Because in here, we can actually traverse through this 2D section right there. And basically, all we have to do is basically we need to go all the way to the right until we're able to discover there's actually a pipe there. But for the sake of this particular Let's Play, you can also go up there to actually get yourselves additional coins. But even then, that's entirely up to you. If you want to able to actually just max out your coins count, then you would able to do that. Of course, there's going to be a secret area down there, but in order to actually get to that, it's the fact that we need to jump off this ledge here, and then just hopefully land on that platform, and boom, there you go. But the thing is though, is the fact that we need to use this Koopa shell right there, because obviously we cannot crouch or jump in that particular part. Because, basically, unlike in any other 2D Mario game, specifically in New Super Mario Bros. Series, you cannot crouch and slide no matter what, so there we go, because there's another power moon, Hidden Chasm Passage. Not bad for that little mission as far as we will go. And of course I'll be going back up, in this case just actually going back into that exact same area as I jump off from. But now we're going to do it normally, which even then though, that is basically just go straight forward and that's it. So that's all I can come across into. Yeah, I do apologize of how the fact that I'm incredibly speechless right now because of how the fact that, well, first off, is that I'm super tired at this point, and yeah, that's all I can tell. Past the chasm lifts, which even then is the next power moon we've got. Now, you remember the multi-moon that we've got from earlier ago? The multi-moon actually gives you not 1, not 2, but 3 power moons all in one combo, which even then though, that it does really worth it though, especially noticeable that during the likes of E3 2017 playable demo of Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, normally the multi-moons originally is known as is the forms of just Grand Moons, very much like how it does in Grand Stars from Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. Sorry about a little tangent right there. Because, well, it's meant to be able to actually call it that, but now it actually calls it multi-moon just because of, well, 3 moons all in one little power moons attachment. So even then, that makes it pretty, makes it much more sense because, you know, multi-moons are essentially just, you know, 3 power moons in addition to your power moons department. So yeah, pretty awesome actually. Yeah, I really do need to actually just to get my speaking up real quickly and during the likes of the next video, but definitely in this particular video at one point or another that my dialogue as far as that my voice is concerned It's actually going pretty rusty at the moment, so I really do apologize for that point, folks. Of course, there's one thing I need to point out though right away, is the fact that, you know how much like how it does it in the Kingdom Hearts games, they do have their copyright issues with the actual vocal themes of those specific, you know, simple and clean songs and all that stuff, or even, Sensuoi from Kingdom Hearts 2 and stuff like that. Well, in this game, though, we do have to come across into Nintendo copyright issues, so nice shot with the chain jump, which is basically, more accurately, trying to deal with all these little chain jumps in a chain reaction. So even then, though, you have to knock over this, not one chain jump, but also another chain jump and onwards. So even then, though, let's see if we can actually aim it from here. There we go. And that way, that gives us a, the second power moon in this section. And obviously forms off very nice shots with the chain jump. So, that makes it pretty obvious what this little mission objectives goes. So, yeah, I might as well try my best to able to collect as many of those power moons as I can. Well, not all of them, mind you, during one go, because, well, we'll get into more details on that later. But for now, let's go ahead and get out of this place, and we can able to hopefully try to search for some more power moons exponentially. But I do notice there's going to be a couple of them from around here on the top, I believe. Before I do that, actually, I might as well have to fiddle around with the T-Rex capturing departments, which even then, that, man, I'm really loving the visuals in this game. It's so beautiful, especially this is on the Nintendo Switch after all. Yeah, let's just go ahead and just go for Fossil Falls, cliffs right there. In fact, what's nice about this particular game, as you can tell, you know one of these checkpoint flags that we've already activated from? If you manage to press the map button, which is in forms of the minus button of any sort, this way you can able to actually just to create a shortcut if you can't be bothered to actually just walk on foot for the whole entire time. So think of like how it does it in, whatchamacallit from the other, oh yeah, think of like how it does it in these teleportation, shrines from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, when you're able to use the Song of Time or something like that, or even some of these warping shrines that Sheik already gives you some of these songs listed in the Ocarina itself. So even then, it does remind me of that system, which I think is really cool. Across the Floating Isles. And the other mission I've done is the forms of the Cascade Kingdom Challenge, Timer Challenge number 2, and that was at that was actually at the very top right there. So yeah, it's interesting. Of course, we can't do anything in here at the moment because, oh, I wonder what this does. It does remind me of almost very similar. What an odd stone. Yeah, what an odd stone indeed, Cappy. In fact, those particular cubes does remind me of almost related to these goddess cubes from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which even then, that does also reminds me of that game, which even then, although it's nothing like, well, I don't know what you would call it that, but I digress. So let's go ahead and just keep on long jumping all over the place. And I think that pretty much does it for this point, because even then, I don't really think that, although again, it has been quite a few days since actually coming back into this game, specifically for those of you who actually watched the Let's Play of Sonic Forces that Sonic already tackled through from the likes of a couple of days ago. But even then, of all the Sonic games we actually did manage to tackle through, Sonic Forces is easily one of the shortest games of the bunch. Because not only because of the fact that we actually got 30 stages in the whole lot, including another 3 due to episode Shadow. Oh, actually, I would classifying saying like a grand total of 46 stages, because normally there are 30 regular stages. But then in the as soon as you're actually able to proceed to the story in Sonic Forces, you actually get yourselves 6 secret stages. And then after you collect a certain amount of red rings, you can get is 7 extra stages. And then the other 3 stages belongs to Shadow's, well, episode Shadow segments, which even then, because of that though, he only has like 3 stages, which even then, well, specifically on his main adventure, although technically that he usually has like 10 stages all in all, because you can actually explore through, I'm pursuing 7 of those modern Sonic stages. Well, there are some exceptions that I just managed to come across into, which are Luminous Forest and stuff like that, so yeah, that's what I can tell. Okay then, so, yeah, again, do apologize if my, dialogue is going pretty, awkward at the moment because of how the fact that there's not much else to discuss. So, naturally, we got ourselves 14 power modes in total, which is actually quite good, considering how the fact that we actually gone through the majority of the game itself. Or, to that matter, for this little, so to speak, I believe, as you can see right there, every time you grab the power moon, I believe I've got about 15 power moons in total, which even then, that way it actually boosts up into my power moons department. So, yeah, we get the idea what this little system goes. So, before we're actually going to be able to leave this area from now on, although I will come back into it until, once the future plans has been going to be, get on with. But even then, I don't really think that we can able to do anything in here at the moment, I think. Because even then, that, the requirements to be able to actually get to the next area is the forms of we need to collect about just only 5 power moons, which even then, that makes it pretty obvious. So anyway, let's go ahead and just skid along and just basically just trying to able to actually keep on exploring for the majority of the place. Ah, shoot. That was kind of my fault right there. Yeah, as you can see, I managed to recently perform my diving ability, which even then though, unlike how it does in Super Mario 64 and the Super Mario Sunshine diving mechanic, basically where these two games do actually normally work is by simply you have to basically jump in midair and just simply press the B button until he performs a dive. And this game does that differently from the forms of how the fact this game actually brings up, differently compared to 64 and Sunshine, is that if you jump in midair and just immediately press the ZL buttons and stuff like that, and then just press the I'm presuming Y or B button in order to actually perfect it. But there we go, we got ourselves 16 power moons in total, which even then, that way we can able to now power up the actual airship. Oh, so I see what this airship is called. It's actually known as the Odyssey is restored. Huh. Very unique name. And we ended up in the Earth, apparently. We've enough fuel to reach the Sand Kingdom. Let's go and save those two. Tiara and Princess Peach. Why don't you take a to the realm, just select Sand Kingdom and press A when we be off. So at the moment we can either go back into Cap Kingdom right there, or just go and stay there into Cascade Kingdom. But I'm actually going to be coming back into Cap Kingdom and during the future times of this game, and I'll come back to Cascade Kingdom in a later time. But for now, we might as well take a break on Cascade Kingdom for now, because we can just simply hit into the next kingdom, Sand Kingdom. It looks like this thing is about to be... Oh, God, I did not expect it. They managed to bust out these blocks like that, or in this case, some rocks. Tons of gears and stuff. It also reminds me of almost related to the Mario Sports Mix level called the Airship, in the forms of how the fact that it's inspired Final Fantasy and stuff like that. It also reminds me of those little specific gears like this underneath the Odyssey. And before you take off, then we get ourselves apparently a new cap of any kind, which appears to be a captain's cap. Okay, sounds interesting, to say much for that. So yeah, we've now pretty much got our Odyssey now powered up. So now we can able to actually just to explore the new world. Or in this case, a whole new world. I say the reference to our Aladdin film right away. Anyway. So, how do you like me as a captain's hat? Pretty classy, wouldn't you say? Well, I'll have to agree on to you that one. Now then, where are we? The monster's name is Bowser. Because I already counted him loads of times. Well, we chased him down, and no time in the Odyssey. And every time you actually get into the next destination and onwards, basically that Cappy is trying to tell you about the hints of the game to see if how you can able to master the controls and all that stuff. It's kind of like how it doesn't where the load times act out in during the likes of Sonic 06, but except it's basically just Super Mario Odyssey, so there's no load times at all. There's always been a, yeah, we can just simply press the plus button, so now we can actually discuss on the Sand Kingdom too. Now apparently that's what he was trying to say, there's going to be a unofficial wedding item that we can able to actually get into. But even then, that's how the ultimate premise of this game is all about. Like basically if we get into the next new world of any kind, or the next kingdom, specifically Sand Kingdom right there, expecting there's gonna be a wedding item around here. Which even then, now that might be something related to the plot. Atop the highest tower. Ooh, looks chilly. Ugh. I declare the mundane voltage of the Odyssey is complete success. Which I honestly agree to that. But why is it so cold? I thought deserts were supposed to be hot. Huh? The top of that tower is shiny? But how could that be? Could it be a power moon? Could be one of them, because just like how it does in Super Mario Galaxy and stuff like that, they always show up the shining parts just because it represents we need to get to. So tune me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Odyssey is the fact that we're going to be checking out the Sand Kingdom. So see you guys next time. Later, fellas.